Okay, so we're talking about investments. Yeah. I believe you have the idea when people talk about investment, right? The same thing like you investing in other people. Yeah. Some of you might have invested in shares, right? Like Amirul or other friends who have already buy the shares of certain companies on Bursa Efek Indonesia or IDX. Yeah. So that is the understanding of investment when we put our resources into other entity or other person that we expect to gain the benefit out of it. Yeah. And the other people, we are the investor. Other party, the one that receive our investment is called as investee, right? So we are the investor. The other party is the investee. Yeah? So in a normal corporate environment, the very basic types of investment consists of debt and equity investment. Yeah? So from accounting perspective, we have to understand how to classify, measure the investment, yeah? How to disclose and present it on the statement of financial position, and also how to treat certain issues, reporting issues, particularly like impairment, yeah? And other reporting issues. Anyone remembers what is impairment? Impairment of value. Another quiz? Anyone remembers what is impairment? You've been exposed about this term since last subject. Anyone? No? Okay, so impairment is the possible reduce in the value of the asset, yeah, including the investment itself. Yeah? So when we say that the investment has impaired, it means the value has decreased. Yeah? So the company normally has to evaluate whether certain assets, including their investment, has impaired in terms of the value. Yeah? The impairment can be caused by various factors, yeah, including the economic environment or situation, yeah, or political also can cause the impairment of in the assets value. Okay, so when we talk about investment, the investment are included as financial assets. Yeah? So you have the long-term asset, which is the power plant and equipment, PPE. But also you have the financial assets, which can be included as the long-term asset as well as short-term asset. Yeah. So the basic types of financial assets are debt and equity investment. What do you think people are motivated for investing? I'm asking Amirul first, because you've been involved in investing, right? What motivates you to invest? Amirul.
To gain profit, yes.
Looking for profit. In terms of what do you get profit? Have you gotten any profit, Amirul, so far?
Have been.
You have?
Yes, have been. Yes.
In terms of what?
Appreciation price.
Appreciation?
Kenaikan harga.
Okay, for example, when you invest?
Buy in 500, sorry, 520.
Okay, not so clear, Amirul's voice. But yeah, so normally we want to earn the high rate of return. Okay, just like Amirul said, they want to get the most profit as possible. Yeah. So that's why we know the term investment portfolio. Have you ever heard the term of investment portfolio? Amirul Mukminin? You have the investment portfolio, Amiro?
Not yet, Miss.
Okay, so investment portfolio is actually our planning, yeah, our mapping of the investment. Yeah. So let's say when the company has resources, they would decide their portfolio, how much they want to invest in the debt investment, how much they want to invest in equity. Yeah. The same like your parents, yeah. How much the parents are saving money in terms of fixed deposit, for example. And how much normally the mothers, they like to buy gold, yeah, because it's more secure. Yeah. So it's not all the resources needs to be invested in one platform. Yeah. Because when you focus only one platform, it will give you a very risky outcome, because if something happened to that platform, for example, you put all your money into the equity or the shares, if something happened to that investment, then you will collapse. Yeah. So that's why you need to have portfolio. You need to diversify. Yeah? People say you need to diversify your portfolio. Yeah? Sedikit di sini, sedikit di sana. Yeah? A little portion in a high risk investment. Yeah? Maybe certain portion in the middle risk investment. Yeah? Dan ada yang mungkin hanya prefer low risk investment. Yeah? So it depends on the taste and the knowledge of the investor itself. Yeah? So, and also, especially for equity investment of the company, yeah, they want to secure certain operating or financing arrangement with another company. Yeah, so you buy the shares of other company. For example, you acquire 20% of the other company's shares, then you have already you are entitled for the share of the profit of that company. Yeah? And if you buy more than 50%, you are considered already as the parent company of that investee. Yeah? So you have the control over operating or financing arrangement of another company. Yeah? Okay. So in classifying and measuring the financial asset, the debt and equity investment, we need to consider two factors. Yeah? The first is the company's business model for managing the financial asset. Yeah? Whether they want to hold that investment until the maturity, or whether they want to hold that investment for trading purposes. Can you differentiate? Hold to maturity means after they buy, they will just keep it until the due date. Yeah? Hold for trading means they intend to trade that investment. Yeah? When they see the price increase, they will sell it. Yeah? And then they buy it again, they sell it again. Yeah? That's trading. Yeah? Sometimes it's not certain yet. It could be hold for collection and sale as well. Yeah? It depends on their cash flow necessity. Yeah? So that's the consideration whether we classify certain investment into held for maturity, held for collection, or held for maturity. In the past, they call it held for maturity. Yeah? And then what are the contractual cash flow characteristics? Whether the company will consistently receive the cash flow over the future time. Yeah. For example, we invest in debt. Yeah? Debt investment. The company buys the bond, and they would receive contractual cash flow over certain period. Yeah? We will receive the interest payment as well as repayment of the principal amount. Yeah? Okay, so if it is the debt investment and it meets the business model of held for collection, yeah, and it receives also the cash flow consistently, yeah, from the interest payment and the repayment of principal amount, then from accounting, from IFRS perspective, we measure such investment at amortized cost. Yeah? Amortized cost ini almost equal to historical cost. tapi kita deduct dengan interest payment, ya, and any bond discount or premium needs to be considered. Yeah, that's why it's called as amortized cost. Yeah, when you learn financial management, I believe that you have learned about the amortization table for the bond. Yeah, berapa principal amountnya, how much interest that needs to be received every year. Yeah? And what is the bond discount and bond premium amount. Yeah? Okay. Okay, and then for the debt, if it does not meet the business model test of held for collection, and it is classified as a trading, held for trading, and held for collection and selling, then we need to measure it at fair value. Ya. Jadi kalau debt ada dua approach ya for measuring the debt investment ya. Kalau held for collection, then we measure it amortized cost. Kalau held for trading and held for collection and selling, we measure it at fair value. Yeah. To highlight to you, the issue of measurement for financial asset has been very complex and very much debatable. Yeah. While some parties are very much proponent of fair value measurement, but some other parties are very hesitant to adopt the fair value measurement. Maybe I've ever explained to you that the fair value measurement is considered, it caused the fluctuation in the company's financial performance. So sometimes it also results in what they call fragility, kerapuhan, because you keep on valuing your asset based on the fair value. But the proponent of fair value argue that fair value measurement will give you a more reflective or a more actual figure of the asset, because you base on the current market value of such asset. Meanwhile, the amortized cost and historical cost, it gives a more stable measurement, but the disadvantage is it is not really reflective of the current value for the asset. Okay. Meanwhile, for equity, because equity you don't receive consistent cash flow over the future period, right? Kalau debt tadi kan kita terima interest ya, it could be once a year or twice a year ya. But equity doesn't provide such scheme ya, so it does not meet the contractual cash flow test. That's why it has to be measured at fair value. Ya. But it depends on the proportion of the company's ownership of other companies' shares. Yeah. Like I mentioned just now, 1 to 20% will use fair value, 20% until 50% will use equity method. Ya, dulu udah pernah belajar nih, but maybe you forget it. And after 50%, we use the consolidation method. Yeah, consolidation method means we combine both financial statement. Yeah, company A dengan company B. Company A beli saham company B more than 50%. So company A will report consolidated financial statements. Yeah, they combine the financial statement of its subsidiary company or its controlled company. Yeah, kalau equity method nanti we will see it later on, whereby the investor company will share the percentage of the investee's profit. Yeah. Okay, we discussed this, that debt investment, we have the principal, repayment, and interest. Yeah, so that's why we have the categories of debt that meet the business model as well as contractual cash flow test. Yeah, so it is classified into 3 just now. Yeah, held for collection or held to maturity. Dulunya dipanggil held to maturity. Yeah? Held for collection and selling. Moment. Dulu tengah ngajar. Waalaikumsalam. Dek tengah ngajar eh? Okay. And trading, yeah. So far, can you differentiate between these three categories? Can, yeah? Held for collection, the company doesn't intend to trade it or sell it, yeah, until the maturity date, yeah. Kalau held for collection and selling, the company doesn't have the plan to sell it, but it will see the progress in the market, yeah, and the overall need of the cash for the company. And if it is beneficial, then they may have the willingness to sell such investment. Yeah, so that's why it's classified as held for collection and selling. Held for trading is intended for trading purposes. Yeah, and a different valuation for each classification. For amortized cost, we don't have unrealized gain or losses. Yeah, karena kita tidak membandingkan dengan the current fair value, ya, kita hanya mencatat berdasarkan tabel amortization table, ya. And yes, when interest is earned, gain and losses from sale, then you have to record it, ya. Held for collection, we value or we measure a fair value, ya. And because we measure a fair value, there always come the issue of unrealized gain or loss, ya. For the category of held for collection and selling, the unrealized gain or loss will be included as other comprehensive income in the equity. Yeah. Meanwhile, for trading, yeah, trading, the unrealized gain or loss will be recognized as part of income statement, net income. I hope you can differentiate it. Yeah. Jadi perbedaan dari fair value measurement, kalau held for collection and selling, it will be included in OCI, ya, other comprehensive income, OCI, ya, in statement of changes in equity. Meanwhile, for trading, unrealized gain or loss, langsung kita masukkan di income statement, ya, as other income or loss. Okay. Okay, for example, this company purchased 100,000 euro of 8% bond on January 1st, 2019 at a discount. For you who have learned financial management, what's different between discounted bond, premium bond, and par value bond? Anyone can remember? Have you ever been exposed to that term? I guess you have. Nggak ingat? Okay, discounted bond, when we purchase the bond at a lower price, yeah, the percent of interest that we receive will be less than the market rate of interest or the yield. You see here, we purchase at 8%, sementara yieldnya 10%, ya. So, kita mengeluarkan harga yang lebih murah dari harga par. The par value is 100,000, tapi kita membayar 92.278. So that's why it's called discounted bond. Yeah. So we receive, walaupun kita membayar lebih sedikit untuk investasi ini, we pay less, but we would receive less of interest. Yeah. Because our interest receivable will be based on 8%. Meanwhile, the market rate of interest or the yield is 10%. Yeah. So how do we record this? We will just record the debt investment, yeah, at the purchase price itself, and we credit the cash at that price. Yeah. But later on, the company will prepare the amortization table. Yeah. Amortization table will show us how much interest that will be received together with the bond discount amortization. Yeah. So supposedly, if we base on the yield rate or the market rate of interest is 10%. Our interest revenue is 4,614. Yeah. But because we purchased that at 8%, so we only receive 4,000. Yeah. So that excess 614, it will be part of bond discount amortization. Yeah. And from period to period, it will be transferred into the debt investment until the end of maturity. That bond investment or debt investment will equal to a par value, which is 100,000. Okay. Okay, so when we receive the first semi-annual interest, because this example, they say that the interest is paid twice a year. So it will be split, yeah, on the July and also on 1st January next year. Yeah? So we record the cash 4,000. But remember, our interest revenue is 4,614. So we need to debit this bond discount amortization of 614 into the debt investment. So debt investment 614 and credit. What do we credit? Ayo cepat. Ini penerimaan apa ini? Interest revenue, yeah. So we credit interest revenue 4,614. Okay. Okay, because the interest payment date is on 1st July and of 1st January, but our closing accounting date is on 31st December. So we still need to record another interest revenue on the December 31st. Ya, walaupun belum kita menerima cashnya. Ya, remember accrual basis of accounting. So we need to record interest receivable 4,000 on 31st December. Walaupun besok ya, besok kita akan terima uangnya, tapi hari ini tetap kita harus melakukan pencatatan to fulfill the accrual basis of accounting. Debit interest receivable and debit debt investment again, and credit interest revenue of 4,645. Are you following me? Okay. So from time to time, the carrying amount of bonds is increasing. Yeah. After we add the bond discount amortization. Can you see in the table? Okay. So on the statement of financial position, we'll present the debt investment according to amortization table just now. Yeah, what is the carrying amount of debt investment? And then if there is interest receivable, then we present interest receivable. In the income statement, we present the interest revenue. Yeah. Okay, for example, later on, yeah, before the maturity, the company decides to sell that investment. Yeah, on 1st November, it sells at 99.75 plus accrued interest. Yeah, so the company has to record the discount amortization first. Yeah, so from November 1. Because this is for 6 months, 683, yeah, we need to identify how many months it has accrued, yeah. So it is 4/6 months, yeah. So 4/6 months we time with 783, so we get the interest accrue as 522, yeah. So we need to record that first before we record the selling price just now, yeah. So debit debt investment and credit interest revenue. Okay, so and then we record the proceeds that we receive from the sale. Yeah, the proceeds is not only the selling price, but also the interest that we receive until that period. Yeah, and we credit the interest revenue. Yeah, okay, and we close down that debt investment account at the amortization amount. Okay, so this is the selling of the debt investment. And if there is any difference between the cash received and the total debt investment and interest revenue, then it will be regarded as gain on sale of investment. Yeah. And this gain on sale of investment always go to which financial statement? Anyone? Setiap gain or loss from the sale of asset, it will go to income statement. Ya. Yang unrealized tadi yang berbeda ya. Kalau fair value ya. Kalau unrealized berbeda antara held for trading dengan held for collection. Ya. Okay, now debt investment, held for collection and selling. Pusing nggak? Okay, held for collection and selling sama kayak held for collection. Yeah, we record at amortized cost, but at the end of every accounting period, we need to do the fair value measurement. Yeah, and we adjust that amortized cost to fair value. Yes, this is very complex subject actually. Yeah, the fair value and financial instrument. Yeah? So read and read again and try to understand. Eh? Okay, for held for collection and selling, the difference between the fair value and the amortized cost ketika kita melakukan adjustment at the end of the reporting period, it will be included as OCI, ya, other comprehensive income. Tidak pergi ke income statement, ya, remember? Just now the gain or sale from the selling of investment, it goes to income statement. Ya. Tapi kalau unrealized holding gain or loss untuk held for collection and selling, it will be part of equity. Ya. Other comprehensive income. Ya. Okay, for example. Ya. Nah, this company purchased 100,000, 10% 5 years bond with interest payable on July 1st and January 1st. The bond sells for 108, 111. Okay, so this is discounted bond or premium bond or par value bond? Umur? What do you think? Is this discounted bond or premium bond or par value bond?
I think that is a discounted bond.
Why is it discounted? You have to differentiate what is the par value and what is the selling price. Yeah. Di sini par value is 100,000, the selling price is 108, 111. I mentioned just now, when the selling price is lower than the par value, it is the discounted bond. Yeah. When it is above the par value, it is the premium bond. Yeah. So in this case, it is premium. Yeah. That's why it results in a bond premium of 8,111. Yeah. An effective interest rate of 8%, yeah? Which means that the company will receive more interest amount, 10% compared to 8% market interest rate. Ya? Kalau tadi kan kebalik, ya? We receive 8%, but the market rate of interest is 10%. Now we receive 10%, but we pay more. Yeah? The selling price is more than the par value, but we will receive more in terms of the interest amount. Yeah. Okay, so how do we record debit, debt, investment, and credit? Credit, cash. Ada yang mau jawab nih? Okay, then remember, held for collection and selling will still record it at amortized cost. Only at the end of accounting period, we will adjust it to the fair value. Yeah. So we'll still record the cash received of the interest. Yeah. Okay, when you see here, different from the discounted bond, the cash received is more than the interest revenue. Yeah, the interest revenue is based on the market rate, effective rate of interest, which is 8%. It results to 4324 on the 1st July. Yeah. Meanwhile, the interest that we receive or the cash received is 5,000, which is the 10% just now. Yeah. Times 6/12 times the par value amount. Yeah? So it will result into bond premium amortization of 676 for the first period. Yeah? And oppositely from the discounted bond just now, this premium amount will reduce the carrying amount of bond from time to time. Ya, kalau tadi kan menambah, ya, yang discount amount itu. Kalau ini premium amount will reduce the carrying amount of bond. Ya, jadi kalau bond investment or debt investment di debit, premium ini akan berada di kredit, ya, karena mengurangi jumlah si debt investment. So how would you record the interest revenue? You would debit. What do you debit first?
Cash, Miss.
Okay, good. Cash, and then credit, interest, revenue 4324, and credit debt investment 676. Ya. This is berbanding terbalik dengan yang discounted bond just now. Okay? Jadi dia karena dikredit akan mengurangi the debt investment amount. Okay, the same thing at the end of accounting period. Walaupun we haven't received the interest payment, we will recognize it as interest receivable and other journal entries that we need to do as well. Yeah. And at the end of accounting period as well, because this is held for collection and selling debt investment, we need to apply the fair value. Yeah? Assuming that the fair value of the bond is 105,000. Okay. Meanwhile, at 31st December, which is equal to 1st January 20, yeah, the carrying amount of bond is supposed 106,732. Ya. Yang mana yang lebih rendah? Yang mana yang lebih tinggi? The carrying amount, amortized cost, or the fair value? Fair value, right? Yeah, fair value is lower than the carrying amount. So do you guess, is there unrealized gain or loss in this case? Ketika fair value itu lebih rendah dari our amortized cost, we'll get unrealized gain or loss? We need to adjust the amount of debt investment now to 105,000. Yeah. So it is lower than what we have already in our record. Yeah. So that means there will be unrealized loss. Ya. Karena lebih sedikit dari jumlah yang sudah kita tulis. Ya. So because unrealized loss will be on the debit side. Yeah. Unrealized holding gain or loss, it goes to equity. And then what do we credit here? Tasha, what do we credit?
Fair value adjustment.
Fair value adjustment, yeah. Okay, so when we see the statement, the detail for the investment, it will be presented as portfolio. Ya. Tadi kan saya sudah sebut portfolio. Portfolio itu adalah serangkaian ya, sejumlah investasi dalam berbagai segmen ya. For this one, portfolio of debt investment. Yeah. So it has in Watson, it has in Anacom, yeah, and it will record unrealized gain or loss here. Yeah. and how much the previous fair value adjustment balance. Yeah? And after they offset, they need to record again on the unrealized holding gain or loss and the new balance of fair value adjustment, which is 9537. Yeah. How do we measure during the sale of held for collection and selling securities? Yeah. We need to remove the entries from debt investment account. Yeah. If it is before maturity date, and any realized gain on loss is reported on other income expenses section of the income statement. Yeah, this is if the company sells bonds before the maturity date. Yeah. Okay, for example, the company sold the Watson bond for 90,000. It has amortized cost of 94,214. So amortized cost, selling price of bonds is 90,000. So we have loss on sale of bonds. Yeah. So debit cash 90,000, and we need to credit debt investment as per amortized cost 94,214, and we have loss on sale of investment. Yeah, which goes to other comprehensive income or loss. Yeah. Oh, income statement, sorry. I mentioned already in the beginning, any selling transaction terus pergi ke income statement. Ya. Yang ada comprehensive income equity itu hanya untuk fair value measurement during the period. Ya. Bukan sell transaction. Ya. Any sell transaction, whether it is investment, fixed asset, ya, other short-term asset, akan langsung pergi ke income statement. Ya. Okay, so this loss on sale of investment, it goes to income statement. Yeah. Okay. Okay. For example, the company report the realized loss in other comprehensive income section of the income statement, assuming that they don't have any other purchase or sale of bonds in the year. Yeah. So when they prepare this statement, Anacom Group 10% bond, total portfolio is 5,000 unrealized loss, and previous fair value adjustment balance is 9537. Yeah, because they want to make the unrealized fair value adjustment balance as 5,000, so we need to write down the difference of 4,537 to unrealized holding gain or loss. Ya. Jadi dia mau jadikan jumlah akhirnya adalah 5.000 ya, sementara ada previous balance of 9,537 ya. Makanya selisihnya di write down ya, dituliskan ke unrealized holding gain or loss equity ya. Okay, this is how we present it on statement of financial position and income statement. Okay. How much total debt investment, and then interest receivable. If there is no, then it is no. And then equity accumulated other comprehensive loss, which comes from the fair value adjustment amount just now. Ya. Tadi masih ingat kita mau ending balance-nya ini 5.000. Ya. Makanya kita debitkan fair value adjustment dan kita creditkan unrealized holding gain or loss. Yeah? So that will be the balance of accumulated other comprehensive loss as 5,000. Yeah? And income statement, because there is no interest received, we have sold that item, that debt, so interest revenue is 0, loss on sale of investment that we need to record from the sale just now. Yeah? Okay, the third category. Yeah. What was the first two categories just now? Held for collection and selling. And the third category is held for trading. Yeah, trading debt investment. Yeah, held for trading debt investment, it will be reported at fair value. Yeah, it's very clear cut. Yeah, So three different approach. Yeah. Yang first tadi amortized cost, yang second amortized cost, but at the end of the period we do the fair value adjustment. This one totally fair value for help for trading. Yeah. And special thing about trading investment also, unrealized holding gain and loss reported as part of net income. Yeah. So it doesn't go to the equity. It go to straight away to the income statement as part of gain or loss in the net income. Yeah. Okay, for example, anyone wants to explain the example? I'm getting tired of speaking. Actually. Okay, for quiz marks, who wants to help me? If you explain well, I give you good grade. Ni yang lain kok nggak buka kamera nih? Dara, Astri, Mutia, Siti, Dita, Mutia, Mojib. You just join, Mojib?
No, miss.
Why so late? What time is it there?
I connected, miss, early, but I join again, miss. I
Okay.
got disconnected.
You want to try to explain this example, Mujib? Okay, anyway. So December 31st, this company, this is their trading securities portfolio. Yeah. And this is the cost that they have and the fair value. So if we compare the amortized cost and fair value, we can calculate the unrealized gain or loss. Yeah. Let's say for the first category, the Burlington Northern, amortized cost is lower than the fair value. Yeah. So that's why we get the positive amount. Positive means unrealized gain. Yeah. Meanwhile, the other two, the second category, the amortized cost is higher than the fair value. So we get unrealized loss. Yeah? The third category is unrealized gain as well, because amortized cost is lower than the fair value. Yeah? And we have the fair value, previous fair value adjustment balance of 3750. Net from here, yeah, because this is at the end of the period. Okay, for adjusting entries that they need to do to the fair value adjustment account to record the increase in value and unrealized holding gain, then we need to debit. If you see here, the positive amount, so it is unrealized gain. Yeah? Kalau unrealized gain berarti credit. Yeah? So you credit unrealized holding gain or loss to the income statement. Ya. Jangan lupa ya, bedanya dengan held for collection and selling tadi. Ya. Tadi perginya ke equity atau other comprehensive income. Ini perginya ke income statement. Okay, okay, despite all the different measurement that we learned just now, yeah, the company still have the option to apply fair value measurement for all their financial assets. Yeah. Walaupun tadi a different category would have to be measured differently. Ada yang fair value for help for trading, for help for collection and selling, amortized cost, and then adjusted to fair value. But the company can decide, yeah, oh, we want most of our financial assets to be measured at fair value. It is allowed, but it must be consistently until the sale of that asset to be measured at fair value. Yeah. Okay. So the company cannot suddenly, when they decide fair value option, they cannot suddenly change to amortized cost valuation. Yeah. Jadi sampai aset tersebut or the investment is sold then they have to use the fair value once they decide to want to use the fair value. Yeah, and it must be applied instrument by instrument basis. Yeah, jadi tidak di combine all the investments. Yeah, instrument basis maybe debt and equity. Yeah, and it generally available only at the time of company first purchase financial asset or incurs a financial liability. Yeah, so they have to decide in the beginning whether they want to apply fair value for that investment. Yeah, and once they decide, they need to consistently measure that at fair value. Yeah. Okay. For example, this Hardy company, they plans to hold the debt investment until it matures in 5 years. Yeah. And the amortized cost of that investment is 100,000, but the fair value is 113,000. And the company decides to use the fair value option for this investment. Yeah. Padahal, if we see the explanation here, they want to hold the debt investment until it matures. Yeah. Seharusnya masuk ke kategori held for collection. Yeah. Because they don't intend for trading, etc. Yeah. But they opt ataupun mereka memilih untuk menggunakan fair value for this investment, despite it is categorized under held for collection. So how they would record? They need to record the difference between the amortized cost and the fair value, which is 13,000. Yeah, because amortized cost is lower than the fair value, so there is a amortized cost is lower than the fair value. We want to adjust to the fair value, so we need to add the difference to the debt investment. Yeah? Debit debt investment and credit unrealized holding gain or loss. Yeah? Okay, in the fair value option, the company used the debt investment account to record the change in fair value. They don't use fair value adjustment account. Yeah, straight away they record it into the asset account itself, yeah, which is the debt investment. Yeah, it is different from the held for collection and selling just now, previously, or held for trading when we use the fair value option. We would have the fair value adjustment account. But when the company choose the fair value option for all its investment, then they don't have this fair value adjustment account anymore. Yeah, they straight away put it in the investment account itself. Yeah, and unrealized gain or loss is recorded in the net income, in the income statement. Yeah, walaupun held for collection. Okay. Okay, before we move to equity investment, any question? How many read the topic before attending the class? Nggak ada waktu ya? Very limited time, yeah? And you have many assignments as well, right? And it takes time, yeah, to read also and understand the topic, but I hope you put the effort to understand. Maybe you won't be able to remember the detail. Huh? I don't also remember the detail, but at least understand the main themes, yeah, tema-tema pokok, yeah. You understand what's the difference between debt and equity investment, yeah. What's the issue in measurement of debt and equity investment? Yeah? The details like classification, yeah, just now, it keeps on changing, yeah. This IFRS 9 on financial instrument, yeah, it keeps on changing from the time it was formulated, yeah, because there has been debate again and again, especially with the United States, yeah. Financial Accounting Standard Board, the FASB of the US, is working together with IASB, International Accounting Standard Board, which based in UK, yeah, to agree on this standard, yeah, because this standard is very much debatable, yeah, on the fair value measurement. Yeah. That's why I mentioned to you previously the categorization is different. Yeah. It was held to maturity, available for sale. Now it is different again. Yeah. And they would respond to the industry as well as political pressure. Yeah. Accounting environment is not free from the political influence. Yeah, if you read it, the government has the interest into the accounting practice. Yeah, because it would influence at the end towards the general economic development and condition as well. Yeah? How we apply our accounting. Yeah, so it's very significant. Yeah, our principles and practice of accounting influence up until the economic condition as well. Yeah. Okay, now we move to equity investment. I guess you understand the concept of equity investment. So it's basically when a company invests their resources or cash into other companies' shares. Yeah? It could be in ordinary, preference, yeah, or other types of capital shares. Yeah? Okay. Or also, it could be acquire certain warrants or rights. Yeah? So stock warrants also will be included as equity investment. Yeah? And the cost of equity investment, it includes purchase price as well as other items that is necessary to acquire the shares itself. Yeah. So the same thing like power plant and equipment, if you still remember, the cost of power plant and equipment is not only the purchase price itself, yeah, but any other associated cost that needs to be incurred to bring the asset into the use of the company. Yeah. So the same thing when we buy the shares, yeah, any broker's commission and fees will be recorded as an expense, yeah, in this case. Okay, equity investment is quite different from debt investment, whereby the degree of ownership in other companies' stock will determine the accounting treatment of the investment after the purchase, yeah, after the acquisition. Yeah. I already mentioned in the beginning, when the level of ownership is from 0 until 20%, and we consider that as a little ownership or little influence, little control, and it has to be measured at fair value. Yeah. When it is 20% until 50%, and it is regarded as a significant influence, then equity method need to be applied in valuation. Yeah. 50% until 100%, we consider it as majority shareholders, or we have the controlling interest. Yeah? You can see in the financial statement, they would specify controlling interest. Then it is need to be treated as consolidation, yeah? Or consolidated financial statement. Consolidated digabungkan. Yeah? Okay. If we hold less than 20%, then we need to apply fair value measurement. Yeah. And it further split into two, whether it is trading or non-trading option. Yeah. If it is trading option, then unrealized gain or loss needs to be included in the net income. Okay. The same like debt investment trading classification. Yeah. Unrealized gain or loss, it goes to net income. Yeah. So the logic is this. Yeah. Trading, because it is a consistent act of selling and buying. Yeah. So that's why we regard it as part of income statement. Yeah. Because it becomes the operational activity. Yeah. Meanwhile, the non-trading option, yeah, it's not like frequent. You don't trade it, yeah. So that's why it's not considered as main operational activity. So it's not included in the income statement, yeah, the unrealized holding gain or loss. That's why it is included in other comprehensive income in the equity. Yeah. What other things are affecting in the companies investing in less than 20%? If there is a dividend declaration, then we need to record the dividend receivable, yeah, and dividend revenue. Yeah? And if we sell it, then we need to recognize the gain and loss from the sale. Yeah? And the second category, which is holding between 20 until 50%, then we use equity method. When we use equity method, there is no adjustment based on fair value. So there is no unrealized holding gain or loss. Yeah. And we don't record the every dividend payment that we receive from the investee. It will be part of our investment. It will increase our investment. Yeah. Jadi kita tidak menulis dividend receivable, yeah? But it will go to the equity investment. Yeah. And then proportionate share of investees' net income. Yeah. Misalnya net income of the investee is 100,000 and we hold the ownership of 20%. Jadi 20% we times with their profit, and we will recognize that as part of our portion as well. Yeah. And when holding more than 50%, it is consolidation. Still consolidation, we don't recognize any fair value adjustment, and there is no recognition of other income effects because we combine both of the financial statements. Yeah. Okay, we see, it's 9:42 already. Holding of less than 20%. Okay, and it is held for trading. Remember, we use the fair value. Yeah. Any unrealized gain or loss, it goes to net income in the income statement. Yeah. And if we classify certain of shares that we own less than 20% as non-trading, then unrealized gain or loss, it goes to other comprehensive income. Yeah. Can you go through this example? This is less than 20%. So they would record the investment, yeah, equity investment and credit cash. And when receive cash dividend on investment, they would record dividend revenue. And later on, at the end of the period, you need to adjust the fair value. Yeah, other unrealized gain or loss. If it is the trading equity, then it will go to income statement. Yeah, the adjustment. If you're non-trading, it will go to other comprehensive income. Yeah. Okay, when they sell the shares, they receive 287, equity investment 259. So there is gain on sale of shares. Where does the gain on sale of shares go to? It goes to the income statement, yeah, as other income. Yeah? Okay, is it possible for you to continue the discussion, because I need to attend the forum Badan Business. Yeah? We launched our clinic and pharmacy today. Are you aware of this? We'll have clinic Universitas Shah Kuala, which is in the Wisma Unsyiah now. Is it possible that you continue discussing? So for non-trading, it's the same like you do for trading equity, tapi unrealized holding gain itu pergi ke equity, ya, tidak pergi ke income statement. Yeah, it goes to other comprehensive income. Yeah. I will show you quickly. This is to adjust because we value it on fair value. Yeah. I want to show you holding between 20% and 50%. Yeah, significant influence. You've learned this before, if I'm not mistaken, in Pengantar 2. Yeah. So when we buy that shares, we record at cost. Yeah. And if there is any profit or loss from the company that we invest, then it will be decreasing or increasing our investment account. Yeah? And the same thing with dividend. Yeah? Dividend will decrease the investment carrying amount because it's considered like return of the investment. Yeah. Okay. In this illustration, you compare the fair value and the equity. Yeah. Okay. In the time of purchase, the same recording. Yeah. Because we record at cost for both method. Yeah. But later on, when the company shares have a fair value of 12, kalau fair value method, yeah, we will recognize the change in the fair value. Tapi under equity method, do we recognize any? No, right? And when there is a net income under fair value method, yeah, the investor company yang membeli shares, they will not recognize anything. Tapi under equity method, we will recognize our portion. Ya. Kalau net income, kalau portion of ownership kita 20%, 20%, so 20% times the profit itself. Ya. So that will increase our equity investment. What happens if there is a loss? What happens if there is a loss? It will reduce our equity investment. Yeah. Check in this mini reported a net loss of 50,000. So we will report investment loss and reduction of equity investment of 10,000. Yeah. And when we receive the dividend payment, we don't record dividend revenue under equity method and 20% sampai 50%. Yeah. But we will record into equity investment. We reduce equity investment because we assume it is like the payback of our investment. Bisa ngerti nggak? Kita berinvestasi di saham perusahaan B contohnya dan jumlah investasi kita itu 20%, berarti kita akan mencatat dengan metode equity. Ya. Setiap kali perusahaan B mengalami kerugian atau keuntungan, maka kita akan mengakui proporsi keuntungan dan kerugian itu di dalam catatan kita in the form of whether it reduce our investment or not. Ya. Karena tadi significant influence, ya. That's why it affects our equity investment. Ya. And any dividend payment from the company that we invest, because this is significant influence, so we regard it as a payback, pembayaran kembali investasi kita. That's why we reduce our equity investment by crediting it. Okay, this is different between fair value and equity method. Yeah. Equity method, it doesn't have anything to do with the fair value adjustment, yeah, because we just focus on the cost itself. Yeah? We don't record at the fair value, and the same thing for consolidation. Yeah. consolidation approach, yeah, we do it when we own more than 50% of other companies' shares. Yeah, so we call the investor as the parent company, yeah, perusahaan induk, and the investee is the subsidiary. Yeah. Do you notice in your financial statement they would have columns parent and then consolidated? Ada perhatian nggak? Jadi ada berapa kolom dia? Berapa yang consolidated, how much amount for consolidated, and how much for the parent company. Yeah. And in the parent's financial statement, this investment will be regarded as a long-term investment. Yeah. The one who prepares consolidated financial statement is the parent company, ya, bukan the subsidiary. Okay. Okay, a little bit on impairment. For the debt investment that categorized and valued at amortized cost, at the end of accounting period, the company has to identify whether there is any impairment or not, ya, on that investment. Ya. Untuk klasifikasi investment yang memang di measure at fair value, there is no need to do so, ya, because you already reflect the most current value. Ya. Tapi yang amortized cost ini perlu kita hati-hati. That's why we need to do the impairment assessment. Ya. Yeah. And if there is indication of impairment, then we need to write down. Ya. Walaupun kita menggunakan amortized cost, tapi kalau ada indikasi impairment, then we need to adjust that cost to reflect the impairment. Okay, please continue reading this PowerPoint. I would appreciate if someone can continue discussing the topic. Bisa nggak? Sarah? Or you can discuss anything, any previous topic using this Zoom. So I would stop.